Daniel Young with Adapted Perspective. I get this question a lot. How can I not be stressed out with the storm that our country and that our world is facing at the moment? And it really does come down to four things. It's a multifaceted issue. But if I can try to condense that, it really just comes down to four things. So, one, God is God, I am not. And that gets into number two. I know my role and I know where I'm going. Now, God is God, I am not. No matter what the world offers, no matter what craziness happens, God is always in control. He has a plan. He has a plan for my life. He has a plan for your life. He has a plan for this world to take us unto the end of the world and then on to eternity, where time becomes so long that we just cannot count it. His plan will get us where He wants us to be and where He needs things to go. From the beginning of time, when He created the world and man, until the end of time, where we stop counting time, and then into eternity, where time just gets so long beyond measure. God has a plan, and He's going to make that work. Now, I have a role within that plan. I'm honored to be in that plan, even just for a small blip in the reality of time. Right? Like however long I'm on this earth, whether that's tomorrow or 40 or 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years from now, however long I'm alive, in the grand scheme of things, that's not that long compared to an eternity. Right? So God has a plan for me, He has a plan for you, and He has a plan, and everybody's got a role to play, whether you're a Christian or not. We're in that plan, and He's going to make His plan happen no matter what. Like, no matter what happens, God is always working towards the accomplishment of His plans. No matter what happens, He's always working everything that happens to me and my family and every Christian in the world in the course of His, however long it takes for His plan towards eternity to happen. He's always working everything that impacts me and every other Christian for good. Right? So I know where I am. I know my role. I know the direction He's leading me. I know my goals. I know my hopes and dreams. I know my family's hopes and dreams. And I know the general direction He's leading me. I know that when I get stressed and overwhelmed, I have an ability as a Christian to pray, and my stress gets offloaded. There's a overused meme and an overused motivational calendar where it shows two sets of footprints in wet sand, and you might even see that footprint pattern change to just one set of prints. Right? So if we gave words to that, it'd be, I'm walking along a beach and Jesus Christ is walking next to me. And I would look back and say, why are there only one set of prints? I thought you were here the whole time. He was like, I was. It's just, you got to a point where you couldn't deal. So I carried you for a while. And if we looked back further, we'd probably see my feet and knees and hands in the sand. Maybe where my face imprints in the sand. Like I just fell forward flat on my face. Right? And then you might see tracks of me just wandering off. And Jesus would be calling back like, hey, come back. And you'd see footprints going back into the wet sand. And you might see my feet leave again. And Jesus would stop and say, hey, come back. And when I don't listen, he goes after me and brings me back. Okay, when I get overwhelmed, when I feel just weighed down by life and stress and all the drama, I can offload that. And Jesus bears that for me, and I walk and deal with all the stress. Like, I don't have to be bowed down like Atlas holding up the world. I can walk straight and handle anything. Because Jesus is carrying the vast bulk of my burdens for me. Alright, so 1, God is God. 2, I know where I am, and I know the general direction I'm going. And 3, I know my role as a Christian and as a husband, a father, and friend. I know the leadership and expectations and general goals I have for my family and my life. I am a friend and lover. I am guardian. I am protector and provider. And my job is to ensure my family's protection now and long after I leave. Right? And I also know, 4, I know my role as a Christian and patriot, which some people will misconstrue because they will seek to twist the Bible to their own nefarious ways. So how could I be a Christian and yet still want to fight for the country and still fight to defend the freedom and to protect the freedom of the country? We've lost freedoms. We should gain those back. How do I protect and maintain the freedoms we still have when, as a Christian, I'm supposed to just turn the other cheek? From my standpoint, that gets a twisted meaning. Turn the other cheek is like, man, you posted something on Facebook that's offensive, but I'm going to let it go and forgive you and just turn the other cheek and keep going. Or, man, you shared something that's just crazy, but I'm going to let it slide. I'm going to turn the other cheek and forgive you and just keep going. Okay? When someone comes at us to harm us or to take away things from us, that's not turning the other cheek. That would be like Mike Tyson coming up to me and hitting me like full go in the ring on the side of the head, and someone on the outside the ring going, hey, don't get mad at him, just turn the other cheek. Well, that doesn't work, because Mike Tyson coming to hurt me and hit me like an opponent, if he doesn't knock me down and knock me out on the first hit, that second punch is just going to knock me down. And the people who threaten tyranny and the restriction of rights and the erosion of liberties and independence in our country are the same way. It'd be like if somebody broke into your house. Hey man, I've got a weapon. Like, I broke into your house. I've got a battering ram and a bat. And I don't care if that guy's got a butter knife or a revolver or a shotgun or a full auto or a bazooka. Okay? That guy broke into my house intending to do harm. He could look me straight in the face and said, man, I'm here to rape your daughter in front of your face, steal all your cash and leave. Right? And those people who are, turn the other cheek could be like, oh, don't worry about it. He doesn't mean it. Just forgive him and turn the other cheek. And as a Christian and as a husband and as a United States patriot, I will look that person in the face and say, fuck you. That's not going to fucking happen. Yeah, I just dropped F-bombs as a Christian. Nobody is going to come into my house, threaten injury, harm, death to me or my family, and get the response of, sure, I'll just turn the other cheek and let it happen. Fuck no. right? People coming into my house, or finding me at a supermarket, or hopping out of a car threatening to rob me at gunpoint will be met with force, equal or over needed force, because I will do everything in my power to protect me and my family and my country from being eroded and taken over by tyrannical, evil, and abusive forces. Right? People coming to harm me, or harm my family, or harm my neighbors, or pick your random person. If I'm next to you in a bus and somebody comes on the bus with a gun, and I can respond to that person with equal force, I'm going to protect you, whether you like guns or not. Okay, my role as a Christian and as a patriot is I'm not going to kill anybody in cold blood. And I'm going to defend our liberties and our independence, and I'm going to defend your rights, whether I agree with your take on your rights, like you want to burn the flag. I completely disagree with that. But that is your First Amendment freedom of speech and expression rights, because anybody can come in and start lording over and determining what's offensive and not. As soon as you start taking people's rights away and determining what is offensive and what is not offensive legally, then that's an issue. Like, you burn the flag. Okay, legally, we're going to fine you or put you in jail. Well, when power shifts, now whoever's in there next can redefine legally what they can do to people based upon what they think should be a moral issue or should not be a moral issue. Right? So those overall four things highly contribute to my not overwhelming sense of peace, but my ability to function at a high level, at a consistent high level, in the midst of what most people would look at as gross chaos. I know I'm not God. I know my role. I know where I'm going. I know my roles as a father, a husband, a friend, right? A leader in my family. I know my roles as a Christian and patriot. And if you find yourself just swept away by the tide, like ebb and flow, like a boat on a high wave, like you're just rocking back and forth and just can't make progress, then I would encourage you to, quite honestly, give Christianity a chance. Like, if you don't think God exists, read the Bible and experience the love of God. The Bible is the greatest love story ever told. So by all means, I think the Bible is so compelling, and I think the love of God is so overwhelming that when you read the Bible and really dig into it, you will realize that God exists and that He loves us more than I could ever describe to you, more than anything you could ever put into words. And you would realize, gosh, just how much He loves us. And knowing that would give you a framework to build some structure and start to piece together your role within His plan and how that impacts you in the different phases of your current life. it is a confidence and a sense of peace. Like you can operate and function and excel and thrive in the most stressful situations you can think of. But it's also the game plan. It's not like Aerosmith says, they say life's a journey, not a destination, and that's not true, because it's both. Life is a journey. We look to grow every day as people. But at the end, it's also a journey from where we are now in this human mortal world to an eternity. And you will either spend that eternity by your own choice. You will either spend that eternity in heaven or in hell. And life is a journey to your final destination. And you get to choose. And your choice impacts your abilities in your current existing mortal life. So if you feel lost, if you feel the ebb and flow and you can't make progress, start at the beginning. Start with God. And the rest will follow. Good luck, my friends. Until the next video, I hope you have a great day.